Enron Corporation was an American energy, commodities, and services company based in Houston, Texas. It was founded in 1985 as a merger of two natural gas companies, Houston Natural Gas and Inter North. Under the leadership of CEO Kenneth Lay, Enron quickly grew into one of the largest and most successful companies in the world. Enron's early success was largely due to its ability to take advantage of deregulation in the natural gas industry, which allowed the company to enter into new markets and expand its operations. The company also diversified into other areas, such as electricity and broadband, and became a major player in the energy trading market. In addition to its business success, Enron was also known for its innovative corporate culture and its use of new technologies. The company was often hailed as a model of the new economy and was included in Fortune magazine's list of the most innovative companies for 6 consecutive years. Enron's stock price also reflected its success, reaching a high of $90.75 in August 2000, making many of its employees and executives very wealthy. The company also became a darling of Wall Street and its executives were celebrated for their perceived business acumen. However, behind the facade of success, Enron was hiding significant financial problems and accounting irregularities. The company was using a variety of accounting methods that allowed it to hide debt and inflate profits, which ultimately led to its downfall. The fall of Enron began in October 2001 with the revelation that the company had overstated its profits for the previous 4 years by nearly $600 million. This revelation was triggered by a report from the Wall Street Journal, which questioned the company's accounting practices. The report prompted an investigation by the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, and led to the resignation of CEO Kenneth Lay and other top executives. The root cause of Enron's fall was the company's use of accounting methods that allowed it to hide debt and inflate profits. The company was using a variety of off-balance sheet entities and partnerships, known as special purpose entities, to keep debt and losses off its books. This allowed the company to present a more favorable financial picture to investors and analysts, and helped to inflate its stock price. Additionally, Enron was also engaging in aggressive accounting practices such as mark-to-market accounting, where the company would record revenues from long-term contracts as if they were earned at the time of the contract, rather than when the revenue was actually earned. This method allowed the company to record revenues and profits that it had not yet earned, which further inflated its financial results. As the investigation continued, more financial irregularities were uncovered, including the manipulation of energy prices during California's energy crisis, and the use of insider trading by executives. This led to a loss of confidence in the company by investors and creditors, causing the stock price to plummet and led to the bankruptcy of the company. Enron used a number of accounting practices that allowed it to inflate its profits and hide its debt from investors and regulators. One of the main practices used by Enron was the creation of off-balance sheet entities, also known as special purpose entities, SPEs. Enron used these entities to move debt and other liabilities off of its balance sheet, making its financial statements appear more favorable to investors. The company would transfer assets and liabilities to these entities, which were then controlled by Enron but not consolidated on its balance sheet. Another accounting practice used by Enron was mark-to-market accounting, which allowed the company to record profits on long-term contracts even if they were not yet realized. Enron would enter into long-term contracts to sell natural gas or other commodities at a fixed price, and then record the difference between the contract price and the current market price as a profit, even though the company had not yet delivered the gas or commodity. This created the appearance of significant profits, which inflated the company's stock price and made it look more valuable than it actually was. Enron also used accounting techniques to inflate the value of its assets, making it appear more profitable than it was. For example, Enron would use inflated estimates of the value of its investments and assets in its financial statements, and this allowed the company to report higher profits and assets than it actually had. All of these practices were illegal and the executives involved were charged with fraud, manipulation and other criminal charges. The Enron scandal brought attention to the potential risks of deregulation and led to increased scrutiny of the natural gas industry. Additionally, it led to the Sarbanes-Oxley Act of 2002, which aimed to improve corporate governance and increase transparency of financial reporting. During the California energy crisis of 2000 to 2001, Enron and other energy companies were accused of manipulating energy prices in the state. The crisis was caused by a combination of factors, including a lack of regulation, insufficient power generation capacity, and a drought that reduced hydroelectric power generation. Enron and other energy companies were able to take advantage of the situation by engaging in a variety of practices that artificially inflated energy prices. These practices included Creating artificial shortages. Enron and other companies were accused of shutting down power plants or manipulating transmission lines to create the appearance of an energy shortage, which allowed them to charge higher prices. Price gouging. Enron and other companies were accused of charging exorbitant prices for energy during times of high demand, such as during heat waves. Gaming the market. Enron and other companies were accused of using complex financial instruments and trading strategies to manipulate energy prices in the state. These practices led to significant increases in energy prices for California consumers and businesses, and resulted in hundreds of millions of dollars in losses for the state. The manipulation of prices was a significant contributing factor to the fall of Enron, as it further loss of confidence in the company by investors and creditors, causing the stock price to plummet and led to the bankruptcy of the company. Enron and other energy companies were eventually fined and settled with the state of California over their roles in the energy crisis. The Enron scandal also led to the implementation of stricter regulations on energy markets, and increased scrutiny of energy companies and their practices. Deregulation in the natural gas industry refers to the removal or reduction of government regulations and oversight of the natural gas industry. This allows market forces to play a larger role in determining prices and investment decisions in the natural gas market. The deregulation of the natural gas industry began in the 1970s and 1980s, with the goal of promoting competition, increasing efficiency, and reducing prices for consumers. During this time, many states and the federal government passed laws and regulations that deregulated the natural gas industry, which allowed for the creation of a competitive market for natural gas. One of the key aspects of deregulation was the separation of the transportation and distribution of natural gas from the production and sale of natural gas. Before deregulation, natural gas companies were often vertically integrated, meaning they controlled every aspect of the natural gas business, from production to transportation to distribution. Deregulation allowed for the creation of separate companies that specialize in different aspects of the natural gas industry, such as exploration and production, transportation, and distribution. Enron was a major player in the natural gas industry during the time of deregulation, and it used this new market to its advantage. Enron's trading and marketing division, Enron Online, was a pioneer in electronic commodity trading. This division used the newly deregulated markets to generate substantial profits by buying natural gas and other commodities at low prices and selling them at higher prices. Enron's success in the natural gas market helped to boost the company's profits and stock price, but the company's aggressive accounting practices and hidden debt ultimately led to its downfall. The Enron scandal brought attention to the potential risks and downsides of deregulation, and led to increased scrutiny of the natural gas industry and calls for increased regulation. Enron Online was an electronic trading platform created by Enron Corporation in the late 1990s. It was one of the first online commodity trading platforms, and was used to trade a wide range of commodities, including natural gas, electricity, and telecommunications services. The platform was launched as part of Enron's strategy to become a dominant player in the newly deregulated energy markets. Enron Online enabled customers to buy and sell energy and other commodities using a real-time, web-based platform. The platform allowed for the rapid buying and selling of energy commodities, and gave Enron a significant advantage over its competitors by allowing it to quickly respond to market changes and take advantage of price fluctuations. Enron Online was a major contributor to Enron's profits and helped to boost the company's stock price. However, the platform was also used to engage in illegal activities such as price manipulation, which ultimately led to the downfall of the company. Enron Online's success was also due to the fact that the company was able to create a market where there wasn't one before. Enron used the platform to sell and trade contracts for future delivery of commodities, something that was not common in the industry at the time. Enron Online's collapse was a direct result of the company's overall collapse, and the platform was eventually shut down in 2001. The Enron scandal brought attention to the potential risks and downsides of electronic trading platforms and led to increased scrutiny of the industry. Enron and its executives allegedly created artificial shortages in the natural gas market through a variety of manipulative practices. One of the ways they did this was through the use of so-called congestion revenue rights, which were financial instruments that Enron used to bet on the difference in prices between two different points in the natural gas delivery system. Enron would purchase these rights, which gave them the right to sell natural gas at a higher price at one location while buying it at a lower price at another location. This allowed Enron to profit from the difference in prices, known as the spread. Enron also reportedly used other manipulative practices to drive up prices, such as round-trip trades, in which the company would purchase and then resell the same natural gas contracts within a short period of time, artificially inflating the trading volume and driving up prices. Enron also allegedly engaged in wash trades, in which the company would buy and sell natural gas contracts with itself, creating the appearance of increased demand and higher prices. Enron also used its control of pipelines and other infrastructure to create artificial shortages. For example, Enron would close pipelines or reduce the flow of natural gas through them, creating the appearance of a supply shortage and driving up prices. These practices led to artificially high prices for natural gas, which resulted in increased profits for Enron. However, these practices also had a negative impact on consumers and other companies that were paying more for natural gas as a result of Enron's manipulation. It's worth noting that these practices are illegal, and the executives involved were charged with fraud, manipulation, and other criminal charges. The Enron scandal brought attention to the potential risks of deregulation and led to increased scrutiny of the natural gas industry.